Well, I'm working on a different engine. What I have here is an Atlantic that I was trying to revive. It had the gear, and I had the link for the gear, and I had a smoke and some other stuff, and I was going to try to see. I have this engine running. I just tested it, so it's a DC Fields. It does pull a little more than I'd like, 1.2, 1.2 amps, I think. But it's not bad. It's still a strong motor. It's a pull more, and it doesn't have traction. But now the smoke system that I had selected, I found one that had a bubble in it, which is usually means it's overheated and burned out. I checked it for ohms and it had 0 ohms. It had no continuity and no current. So I took it apart and I could see the windings were really charred. This angel hair was charred. So I went ahead and cut the nichrome wire out, and I unwrapped it from the angel hair, and I soaked the angel hair so it got soft again. This was an old unit that's been sitting for a long, long time. And I got the angel hair, I pulled up about a half an inch on both sides and then tucked it right back down. Then I went and got one of my 8 ohm heaters, which is a wire wound heater, and the angel hair is not going to be wrapped around it, but it's going to be sat down in it. And it's going to try to keep a gap. Now, this is a lot cooler than the one we had, so I don't have to fuss about that gap too much, but I don't want it to be so close that it really does overheat this. This is not a PC board like I use, but it should be somewhat resistant. So I'm going to try to tuck it down there a little more once I get going. But what I thought I'd do is just show you what I'm trying to do here and see if I can revive this old boy and get it to smoke, and then build this engine up with the DC Fields, the vintage smoke and the piston and all, and then see what it'll do. And I have plenty of the old Flyer Atlantic tender stuffs. So, I've got a one here. I got the lid. All I need is the power for the smoke, and I have several powers for the smoke that I can steal from, and see if I can't build an Atlantic with the next gen level 1. I mean, I know I can. I just wanted to show it to you guys to see just to show it. Okay, fine. So that's what I'm up to. And the unique thing here, I guess, is getting the old smoke system revived using some of the next gen components. Like here, I'm using the heater that I use, which it's a wrapped piece. It's not nichrome wire wrapped around angel hair, but if you pile the angel hair into the bottom and then put this on top, it'll warm it up and create the smoke, and you can still push it out, and the angel hair should wick the oil back up as we use it. It's just the way it works. It gets hot and it pulls the oil from the base. Now, I hadn't opened the base, but I did soaked it here and down the hole to make sure the base got something, hoping it would absorb that. Sometimes these can come back over time, and sometimes they can't. So we're going to see what I can do with this one, and I'll let you know how it turns out when I get it all buttoned up. All right. Okay, I got the engine together. I got the piston and the pin and all that good stuff. I did not put power to the heater yet. I'm going to wait and see. I just thought I'd fire this thing up, see what we got. See how the resistance is running. At 3 volts, I got 0.9. That's more normal. That's what I expected. So 0.3 volts at 0.9 amps, it can operate on DC. There's the chuff sound. All right, it seems to be running nice and smooth. Now we want to try some power to the smoke unit. That's an 8 ohm smoke unit, so it doesn't require a lot of power. What I'm going to have to do now is jumper from the DC to one of these buck boost boards, add some connectors, or like the one I had, I can find him He's laying over here somewhere sleeping. Yeah, I got him. I can use him too. So I'll pause, hook this up, and see if we got any smoke coming out. Oh boy, what a jumbled mess. Yeah, I can't help it. Okay, I don't know what it is. It's just awful. It's just carnage everywhere you look. It's just stuff. How does anything get done in this lab? I don't know. If I was back in medical systems, they would have ran me out on a rope and a board or something. At any rate, okay. Let's show you what the smoke does now. That's at 5 volts, and we're getting 3.5 to the heater at 1.5 amps. Now at 3.5, this is only a buckboard. It's not going to boost it any. So if that's all it's getting out of the system, which is about right, it's going to lose 2 volts with all the stuff. And I'm coming from the motor to boot, right? So we're going to lose something. So let's get it up. Let's get it up to say 5 volts to the heater. Because at 5 volts to the heater, I'm usually showing some smoke. That's 7.5 volts at 1.7 amps. 5 volts to the heater. Well, that's interesting. What? Wait. There's a whiff. It's coming. It's warming up. You got 5.2. Okay, well now this 8 ohms, but we're in angel hair. We're in the old environment, which is used to a lot more power. So let's see if I can take this up to 6. Oh, there's 6. 6. We got nice voltage, nice smoke. That's pretty good, huh? That's smoking. I mean, that smoker was dead. Oh, and I got holes in it to plug yet, so okay. But that smoker unit did not work. You hear me? And so this is the vintage lid with the next gen heater coil on top of angel hair that has been pulled up just a half an inch or so and wadded up in the smoke chamber, and then the smoke is just sitting on, the heater is sitting on top of it. I have no voltage control here because I really don't need it. It's a metal base. So we got 6 volts. I know 6 volts is safe. What I'm a little nervous about is when we say we want to go faster, like maybe you want to go really fast, like I do, until it flies off the track. Oh, wait a minute, what's going on? That's 17 volts, 2.2 amps. Okay, holy moly. God, jeez, oh Pete's. I think we got it. I think I didn't even look at the heat to the thing. I couldn't see it. It was too much smoke. I couldn't see the voltmeter. Too much smoke to read it. No, okay. Okay, the point is you can fix your smoke lid if it's non-operable. Even if it has a little bubble. It's a little warm too, by the way. But if it's not broken through, burned to a crisp and broken through, you can repair your smoke lids using this smoke heater that we have and wiring it into a volt regulator, which you will have to regulate. I would suggest 9 volts probably be all you need. This is not regulated, and it doesn't have the boost. We have the Buck Boost boards, which are a little bigger. You can see it's got more heat sinks and more components. That's a Buck only. This is a Buck Boost. When you use the Buck Boost, you set it to 8.5 volts. It'll be 8.5 volts at start all the way through to high speed. It'll just stay at that 8 volts. So that's probably the best approach to keep your oil from evaporating and smoking out, and the wife coming down, and fire extinguisher, 911, a whole bit. But I'm excited. Now I have an engine that will smoke. It runs. It's DC. It pulls 1.2. I forget. Was it 1.2 running? And now I got all kinds of Atlantic tenders. So I can put a tender together, and I just have to stuff it with these few parts: the digital reverse, the power distribution, the AC to DC, and then one of the regulators. And we've got an engine with puff, chuff, DC, digital reverse, and regulated smoke. And of course, the headlight and the tail light and all that will be put on it too. Really? Hey, I'm not kidding you. You know, you guys can do this stuff. Okay, I got a little dirty. I got a little dirty. Well, you got a lot dirty. But you can do it. All right? I have to call a friend of mine. Actually, he's a cousin who's a friend too. But we agreed to chat, and I have to call him. But for review, we don't have enough voltage until about, looks like 9 volts going in. Oh yeah, 9 volts going in. So if you set this to, and that's 6 here, okay, 4, 5, 6, which is about what we do in our system. So I would set it to come on in the 5 volt range, and then I would limit, let's see what happens. All right, it's limiting somehow at about 6 volts. I don't understand it, but at any rate, that's too much. We'll work on that. I'll tune it and tell you how to tune it. That way, if you like this, we can set you up with the parts, and then the instructions will spell out how do you adjust it and what do you adjust it to. Even it's DIY and it's a screwdriver and you can do it, you're going to need a soldering iron, and you're going to need to know how to solder some wire, and you're going to need a voltometer, some kind of a meter that tells you volts and ohms resistance. Amps is okay, but you don't need it. But they're not expensive. I used to get mine at Radio Shack. That's what this one is. Radio Shack's no more. I don't know where you find them. I'll look around, see if I can recommend something from somewhere that's reputable. And then we can help you with the smoke, help you with the DC, help you with the backlash and the shims. I have a trick. I've just been doing it on the last few. I put 2 ball bearings. I glue one into the chassis, and then I back it with a second one, and that's the exact amount of spacing I need for the armature. So I'm using 2 ball bearings on the front. I know it's kind of it's just a spacer, but it's metal. It has no resistance, and I think that works for me. On the back, I have yet to do that. I'm thinking someone suggested I reprint that so that I can put the bearing in. I don't know. We'll see. I may or may not. I may try to drill one out. I have done it before. It made me crazy. I did it, but we'll see. All right, I got to go. Yeah. I had another engine. I had my other engine running. I don't know if I made a video or not. I think I did. I can't remember now. I had the this one, which had the smoke in it. We had this one the other day, then this one. And then now the one that I've converted this one to this smoke heater, which I just did. They all have the magnets. This is someone lost the little arm, so I made one out of a Rector, but it works. This one is designed to show the amp draw when you turn off and on the headlight and the smoke for the Scouts. I build these for Scouts. It's pretty cool. You had to hold this down to switch directions, and it was pretty cool. They liked it. Amps would go way up, and you turn off the light, and you turn off the smoke, and then amps would come down. I don't remember. I have to run it and see what it did run at. This one I was showing, this one is a DC Fields from American Flyer, only I took out his magnet because his magnet was put in 1948 and 49. It was shot. It was just dead. So I put in my super magnets. This thing will fly low. And then this is a, they call them a DC can motor. They're from Japan. They're about $35, and you can bolt them in. They usually come with the adapter and the right screw. You can bolt them in. They're DC as well. But this is the new motor if you want, and this would be sort of a conversion of the open frame Flyer. And I like this a lot, but I didn't like having all this lump up here and that as a pain in the butt. You had to machine the old ones if you wanted to use the old ones. So that's when I went to the plastic. I realized the plastic doesn't get that hot. I've got some heat resistant plastic. I got some great magnets, and it just works like a champ. So here you can see volt regulator for the smoke, digital reverse, bingo. The other thing I made for the Scouts while I'm in the Scout mood is showing you this. I took an engine apart, and then I just put all the parts on a board so you could see everything, and I labeled them. I actually took the reverse drum apart so you can see when we say fingers, what's a finger? And here shims, brushes, we say brushes, right? Brushes and fingers, that's the part that wears, right? Someone took the armature or it fell off or something. I don't know, it's gone, but I can put another one in if I ever decide to use this again. But at any rate, these are all pretty good parts. And then the chassis. And then back here, I was working on what you can do with digital. You know, here you could put a rectifier on the old reverse unit. It wasn't the best way to do it. You still had a lot of loss in energy, but then you could run the DC can. Then we had the single board reverse. Then we had the electronic reverse. Then we had other reverse units, digital reverses that you could get. That shows you the spectrum. What I have done is taken one of the early Lionel reverse boards and updated it. They don't make it anymore, so yeah, I had to. I had to build up my own. Okay. Anyway, these are just things that oh, that caught my eye, didn't it? Does that look familiar to some of us? Oh my goodness. Only the wheels look really big and really far apart. I don't know what that is. Maybe we'll be seeing that one day soon, I hope. Yeah. All right. I gotta go make this call. Talk to you guys later. Have fun.